And now, I would like to say, first of all, thanks to Waldo's Records in St. Albans, Hertfordshire, Britain. They sent me a new record by the T-Set. And they had a previous one called Cups and Saucers, which is very good if you happen to be able to find it. They also had disc by the Bears, Nigel Simpkins and the Bodies, but this is what the T-Set sounds like.
Favourite song and why? Sawtooth, because the scales we used were always guaranteed to make the building resonate. I remember Sunderland Locarno with roadies hanging off the speaker stacks whilst Nick and I played those scales.
To me, it was all about playing live. I love that side of being in a band, touring and going on stage and the lights coming up and the excitement building and not knowing how it's going to go and the spontaneity of what you're going to do and the reaction of the crowd, good and bad, was always to me the greatest thrill. I found it much more difficult to perform in front of small audiences where the place was half full than I did in front of 2, 3, 4, 5,000 people.
Experimenting on stage, well, sometimes it's a genuine mistake. My sense of no presets on memory functions, so reconfiguring between songs on a darkened stage was always going to be challenging, and I made mistakes. But there were times when I heard something in my head whilst we were playing that I thought sounded good, so I'd just go ahead and try it. Very high risk, often got my butt kicked by the rest of the band, but it was often also very successful.
Jimmy here from Abel's Club. You can phone me on 683-44012. I have a bill here from your hotel. They want to bill you for the damage. They sent me a bill for 70 quid. 70 quid.
The T-Set were what you would identify as the classic art school band. Music was an art experiment. Mistakes and wrong chords were always part of the creativity. Making noises, narrated vocals, and objects as instruments. Customised and theatrical thrift shop clothing. The T-Set created record sleeves more ambitious than any others at the time. Nick and Callie were the main visual stylists, creating propaganda and spreading it across the land, including the infamous Welcome Home T-Set graffiti on a bridge over the M1 motorway. It can't be estimated how many millions of motorists saw this emblazoned on the concrete bridge as they returned to London. Callie created the prep school anti-hero images, turning a classic English public school boy with its Tom Brown school days dialogue into an anarchic parody. 2 other students at Watford Art School were also part of this collective. The band's logo, record sleeves, posters, art direction and comic book style illustrations were primarily done by Francesca Cassavetti, and the flamboyant and colourful stage clothes, worn mainly by Nick, were put together out of nothing by Heather Johns. The band brought this chaotic theatre to their live show with pastiche style sound intros, giant photographic backdrops and an eccentric larger-than-life frontman in Nick Egan.
That's very good, you know. This is one of those sessions which sounds a lot better the second time around. T-Set, and that's called Sawtooth. Both sessions.